and that's why we're using that. That's why we're putting these sites in the sites.defaults file. So is that not correct? Because it just sounded like when you're talking to Joshua that you actually have to go and download the RNX files manually for each IGS or UNAVCO station.
No, you're correct that the sites you want to add to your processing, you list them in sites.defaults with the FTP RNX flag, and then SHGAMET will automatically go and try and download those sites. That's correct. Your understanding is good. The thing that I was doing there with just downloading one specific file was to help with the calculation of the initial coordinate, the a priori coordinate, if you don't already know it for a particular site. So in that case, Joshua has some sites in Oklahoma. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that he didn't actually know where they were yet. We would download an IGS site nearby, and we would use that as a reference site with SHRX to APR to build our APR file. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the only difference.
I remember that process.
Yeah.
And just I have my site default open. Can I share my screen real quick? I just have one quick question.
Yeah. I'm very happy when people share their screens. It gives me something to look at with more understanding. Yeah.
All right. Can you see? So I just have a question about this local Rhinex tag.
Right.
We don't have to point to our locally stored Rhinex files in this sites.default, do we?
If they are stored in the Rhinex directory of your processing directory, then that's fine. Gamut will always look in there. This other local RX flag is actually for if you have Rhinex files stored elsewhere on your system in a different directory, you can actually tell SHGAMET also to look, on another disk somewhere.
Okay, great. And I guess while I'm here, I'm more or less correct to, at this point, comment out the all sites, the functions which exclude data.
Actually, that is, I would recommend always having that all sites line uncommented. That's a pretty dangerous thing to comment out. Just add a space at the beginning of the line as well, because we have a space. So the xstintfo flag there says do not update station.info using the Rhinex files that are downloaded. And you don't want to do that, because if you've set up your station.info file with information from the default station.info and your information from your log files or whatever it might be, if you allow SHGAMET to update station.info, you could lose all of that information that you spent time building.
Yeah, that would suck.
That you always want that xstintfo for all sites in there.
Okay, and like the identifier here, I can just leave as all sites.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it will understand the flag all sites. Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, just a couple of things there that are conventions. Number one is the experiment name. What you currently have as test_exp should be 4 characters only.
Okay, I also had that question earlier, but I forgot about it.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it says it up in the header line there. It says the second token is the 4-character experiment name.
Perfect.
Yeah, so yeah, you could do that. The other thing that you might have problems with is in this particular file, I would have your site names in lowercase. Just,
Really?
just
Okay.
like just like in the template line down at the bottom there.
Okay. Yeah. They're always kind of given in big capital letters. So.
Yes, except in this file.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and we'll do something about that eventually. But for the moment, use lowercase for this particular file. Yeah.
Cool. I think that covers my questions up to now. Hopefully, I'll have some fatal errors for you soon.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's great. Thanks.
Where am I?
So I do see we have a few messages in the chat. So maybe I'll deal with those now. Okay, from Jose. Yeah. So let's.
Yeah, the brand of the non-calibrated antenna.
All right. Okay. Right. This is a. So it's a TopCon.
No. Top GNSS is a low cost.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
not.
Top GNSS.
I won't be really expecting anything from them because it's really cheap.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm trying to find a good picture where I could read the
below. Maybe you're seeing the AliExpress webpage.
Yeah.
And then below they have a picture with a diagram with the ARP and L1, L2 phase center.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that should work. Okay. GN. So the model number is GN plus.
Well, I look for it.
And it doesn't have a calibration.
In the file RCV and .dat.
Yeah.
I looked for it and it wasn't there.
Okay. All right. So this is a good thing to demonstrate as well. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll again just go through this together.
Okay.
All right. So you can see my screen there. So
Yes.
Jose sent me a link of an antenna that he is using. It's a model of antenna that is perhaps quite new. It hasn't necessarily been accepted with an IGS code, these kind of things. So we're going to investigate how to incorporate this antenna into the gamut tables so that Jose can use this antenna.
Thank you.
So I asked for some information, and lower down here we can see there's this diagram here which shows sort of the manufacturer's specifications of the dimensions of the antenna. And in this picture here, you can also see if you click on that link, you can probably see it a little clearer on your computer, but there is a model number which is GN plus GGB 0710. So that's the model number is often used for the IGS code, is basically the idea here. So I'm going to try and find this antenna. Jose has already said it's not in the gamut tables, and that's okay. But we can go to a website from the NGS called ngs.noaa.gov/antcal, antenna calibration. And let's see if there is anything here that they have. So it was top GNSS. Is that what it was called? Yeah, top GNSS.
That's a brand, top GNSS.
Spot on CN, okay. Okay, So it doesn't look like there's anything here. Okay. All right. I guess we have to do that as best we can then. So there doesn't seem to be an antenna calibrate. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we have to do what? Excuse me, Mike.
We will have to do this ourselves a little bit. We'll do our best.
Build a calibration file.
Yes, sort of.
Okay.
This is getting a little complicated now.
Little edgy.
Yeah, this is an interesting question. All right, so I'm going to share my terminal again. There are two files that we are going to need to change.
Okay.
The first file is rcvant.dat.
Yep.
And the second file is antmod.dat, which is actually linked to
it's a symbolic
the IGS plus version.
ATX.
Yeah. So I'm going to change to my main directory. And because what we're doing here is a little bit dangerous, I'm going to make some copies of the original files just in case we make a mistake. Okay, and let's see. So we'll copy this to okay, so I just made a couple of copies of the file that antmod.dat points to, and I made a copy of this file so we can always replace them later.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing we need to do is we need to add an antenna to this file. So we can search for the all capitals antenna block.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that is here. So at the very end of this section, or well, it's in alphabetical order. So I will go down to where we would add top GNSS.
The brand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll just say it's a top GNSS antenna added by MIT.
Yeah.
We will make we'll make up an IGF code. So let's say it's usually 3 characters for the manufacturer and then an antenna code afterwards. So we'll say TPG. I think that's probably okay for top GNSS. And the antenna code was GN plus GGB 0710. I'll just add a note there.
Well, yeah, a reference from AliExpress.
Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the first column, we need to have a short 6-character gamut code. And again, we can just write anything as long as it's a unique code.
Unique.
It has to be unique. So let's say TPG G71. Something like that.
I searched for it. It's not in the list. It's unique.
Great. So that is what we add to rcvant.dat. We just add a code that
Mhm.
is, you know, a made-up IGS code. And this code is what we will use in our station.info file.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll save that. And actually, I need to copy that as well. Now we will edit the, the ATX file. This is a very long file.
Mhm. Yeah, I know it because
Uh,
RTK Live has one file like that.
Yeah, it's a very big file nowadays. But basically, we can go all the way down to the bottom
Mhm.
because, well, you can see here there's a section that we've added called MIT Supplementary
Mhm.
Dummy Calibrations.
Okay.
So in this section at the very end, we have actually added examples like this where there is not an IGS code, but we sort of know something about the antenna, maybe. And we're basically going to copy something like this.
Okay.
Let's see, is there an elevation? Okay, we can copy something like this. So this is just a very basic calibration where there is no elevation dependence
Okay.
of the phase center. It's only an azimuth dependence. So you can just see there's one line here that says no ASI.
No ASI.
Yeah, at the beginning, rather than three. Sorry, I mixed up what I said. This is elevation only dependence, no azimuth dependence. In other calibrations, you can see 325 degrees, 330 degrees going round the azimuth, but we don't know enough information. So we're just going to use one of these no ASI lines. So I'm going to copy this block from start of antenna to end of antenna.
End of antenna.
Yeah. And I'm going to copy that all the way down at the very bottom of this file. Oops. Right, copy. All right, and now we need, so we'll change some information here. We need the IGS code. So that goes in there. And we can change the calibration method here. We'll just say, I don't know, manufacturer. It doesn't really matter. We'll say it was done by Top GNSS, and yeah, everything else is fine. All right, so now
this is the tricky part.
we start changing numbers.
The numbers.
So let's go back here. All right, and we can see that the L1 height is 48 millimeters above the base of the antenna.
The ARP, huh?
the ARP, right? And the L2 is 44 millimeters above.
Right.
And we don't know if there's any horizontal difference.
Horizontal display shifting.
Yeah, we don't know that, unfortunately. So here for the northeast up
Zero.
offset for L1, GPS L1, we can say 0 for north because we don't know. 0 for
48.
and then 44.
40.
Sorry, 48.
That's 48.
Yeah, 48.
That's L1.
Yeah, and then for L2, we do the same thing. So we say nothing for horizontal and then 44.
Yeah. Okay.
Now for the elevation dependent phase variations, we don't know. We don't know what these values should be. All we know are the phase center offsets. So this line is the phase center offset. These lines are the phase center variations. All that we know from the diagram is the phase center offset. So I'm going to change all of these numbers to 0 as well. And that's the best we can do until there is a proper calibration.
Okay.
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 That's it. So it will be better than nothing.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not perfect.
Okay, no, because maybe I will introduce some errors with that. No, but that's the price of low cost. No, I don't work with grants and things like that. No, I work with my money, with my salary. No, and then I need to do this. No? But that's a price to pay now for this.
Yeah.
But but really, it's not. It's not the worst thing that maybe this is the worst thing that I can do because this is a really low cost. No, but the Arduino simple antenna that is $160 maybe I remember if I recall correctly, maybe $200 is really calibrated. No, okay, I know that there is no choke rings and there's a lot of things that antenna doesn't have, but maybe at least a calibration file is available.
Yeah, so my colleague and I have actually been experimenting with low-cost receivers and low-cost antennas as well. And the one that he has bought is, I'll bring it up here on the screen. The one that he has bought is this Bayesian or Bayesian.
Bayesian, yeah, I know. Bayesian is in AliExpress. Oh,
yeah, I think he bought it from AliExpress or something. Yeah,
I saw that brand.
Yeah, this is the one that he has bought. Is the BT300.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why he decided to buy this one, but it does have an NGS calibration. So, yeah.
That's really I saw that brand. Not sure if I saw that model when I was buying my model, but maybe I will search a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I think you followed that. I think you understand everything that I just did there with those
very clear.
Files. So that's good. Very good. Any other questions on what I just did there with Jose? Did people understand what I was doing and why I was doing it?
We were changing three files, no? Or because you changed it two.
It's
files, huh?
just two files.
Only 2 files, no?
Yeah, and then you'll need to include the code in station
In my
file
in
as
my
well.
station.info. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's a perfect example of how, you know, we try to contain all the antennas in our tables, but
Okay.
sometimes there's an antenna or receiver that we just don't know anything about, and so we can add it ourselves with a fake entry. All right, great. Any other questions? Anything anyone would like to share with us, and we can walk through more problems, or we can help you move through your processing setups. Did you have another question, Nate, or did you just still have your hand up from before?
My hand's just still up. I'll lower it. There you go.
Okay.
I do have just one question pertaining to the
Okay, yeah.
site's default file.
About which file?
The site's defaults file.
Okay.
I've slept since yesterday. What exactly am I supposed to be putting in this one again?
That will be any sites that you wish to include in your processing network, like IGS sites and sites around your area. Specifically ones that you want SH Gamut to download for you automatically when it does the processing. So that's where you would define the other sites that you want to include.
Gotcha. So that would be the surrounding sites, not not necessarily the sites that I have set up myself.
You can add you can list your sites in there as well. That will do no harm, but it's not really necessary because you've put your Rhinex files in the Rhinex directory. You don't need to download them. You can't download them from any of the public archives. So you can list them if you want, but it's not necessary.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have about 15 minutes left, so we have a little bit of time to get into another question. Yeah, Putra.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, there is something I would like to ask, but I'm sorry I cannot turn on my video.
Okay.
I'm continuing my processing, and I'm I'm ready. Can I share screen?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, this one. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see. Yeah.
No. I'm doing processing for actually. I'm working with my remote desktop. Actually, yeah. Please. I'm working for. Actually, there is an earthquake, inland earthquake happened in Sumatra Islands, and then this earthquake is interests me because this is the Sumatran island, and GPS stations that installed there both are owned by Indonesian Geospatial Agency, and then Earth observations of Singapore. They put the GPS stations in here. The one that makes me interested is the earthquake around here. This red, the stars is the main shock, and the small circles is the aftershocks after 10 days.
Yeah.
After 10 days, and then this one is the red line, is the what we call as Great Sumatran Fault. It's across the Sumatran island from the north to the south. And actually this fault is actually, the mechanism is I think the right lateral fault, right lateral fault, and then I'm processing several stations. The one that I'm already finished processing for the quakes occur in the OI 56, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm already processing until the OI 62.
Okay.
60. So I just finished 5 days after the quakes, because I expect such taking the average after and before the quake. Yeah, I put some stations. There is some stations here. Actually, the one that pretty close to the quake is this one, CPSM, and I expect these stations is having a very large displacement to the north, to the south, to the north. And this one is my process. But this one is I'm still processing for using the precise orbit. The one that I already finished until the OI 62 is using the rapid orbit.
Okay, yeah.
I'm using rapid orbit of 5JS, and also, I don't know, how do you think? I also use the rapid product from the IONX file.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I think I'm not sure what the differences are between the rapid and final products in terms of percentage change of your results. It probably won't change very much unless there's a mistake in the rapid that gets corrected in the final orbit. But yeah, with rapid orbits and with rapid IONX, that should be fine. Yeah.
Oh, should be. But during processing, I got a problem because the GPS stations that installed here is not really that much. During my processing, to start making, I'm showing you the SH damage summary. Yeah, the one that I always found is for the station CPRR. I always got no prefit and no postfit. What do you do?
Okay, yeah, that sometimes happens when the a priori coordinate is a long way away from where the data suggests the site is. And in that case, all of the data gets cleaned and removed. It looks like bad data because you're telling Gamut that the site is over here, and the data is telling Gamut that the site is somewhere else. And so Gamut says, oh, the data looks really bad relative to where you think the site should be. So I'm just going to get rid of this data. And you often get these messages where that means that the site essentially has been removed from the solution. So the question is, why has that happened? There's two possible answers, I would say. Number one is this might be a case where CPAR is a site ID that is somewhere else in the world, and it's included in the default IGB14 APR file, and it's a different site. It's just, so you're using a coordinate from a different site. Another thing could be that you just have bad coordinates in your APR file. But let's just check a little bit first, and then we can start to go and see where the problem is and how to solve it. So the first thing, can we look at your autoclean prefit.sum file in that directory? At the very top, you should see autoclean.
This one?
No. Has it been removed?
Yeah, I'm afraid I removed it.
Oh, okay, that's a shame. That's okay. That's okay. We'll go to let's go to your APR file, your main processing one.
L files. Where can I find in tables?
Yes, right.
L files.
So if you open, can you open process.defaults?
Process defaults. Nice.
Okay, and do you have, can you scroll down? Scroll down. Okay.
Yes, I delete.
Okay, so you don't have your own APR file, you're just using the default one. So in that case, yes, let's look at the L file that you just opened. Yeah. Okay, so in here, this is basically a copy of igb14_com.apr with some coordinates at the bottom there that you can see, which have been added from either your APR file, which you did not define in process.defaults, or this information has come from some other place. So do you have CPAR in that list? No, you did not. Yeah. But can you search CPAR in this file? If you go up, I think you will find that CPAR is already in this file. There it is, yeah. But I think it is a site in Europe because that coordinate is coming from the EPN solution, which is the European Permanent Network. So I think you have a site here which has the same name as a site in Europe. And because the site in Europe has a priori coordinates already contained in the APR file, Gamut is using those coordinates for your site. And so you should just add approximate coordinates to the end of the file for your CPAR site.
Okay, so it's okay for me to remove the already contained CPAR from.
Yeah, or you can remove it. Yeah, that will work too. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the problem. This is a case of a clashing site. Yeah, and this does happen, and that's one of the first signs that this might be a problem, is when you get those no pre-fit or no post-fit. Sometimes it's because there's another site in the world that is already in the tables with the same name. Yeah.
So Mike, I have a question. How do you know that the CPAR is the another site in Europe?
I
give this name. I give this name in 2009, and I was checking the IGS site before, and there is no similar name. And I also in IGS.org/network. How do you know any other site with similar name?
Yeah, that's a good question, especially for people who operate networks. So I'll share my screen here.
Sure. Actually, I already I coordinate with the IGS guy. I forgot the name when we want to propose the new IGS site. David Maker. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so let me show you a few places that I look when I'm creating a new site. Obviously, the first place is IGS.org/network. And there should be, I think under this downloadable tab, there should be a Let's see. Oh no, I want a list. Oh, okay. I guess you could just search for it here.
Yeah, it's easy
Was
one.
it CPAR? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No.
there's no IGS sites called
Yes.
CPAR.
No, yes,
That's good. Okay. So the next thing I would do is I would check UNAVCO. And so we can search for, this is all new. I don't know if I can search on a site name. So, okay, don't worry about that. They're upgrading their web viewer at the moment, and it still has some features that are not quite there. But I can tell you one good place to look, and that is, oh no, that's moved as well. Right, let me just find where this list is. Aha, list. Okay, this is good. Okay, so this is a new web address. They've obviously changed this site a little bit. So I'll paste this in the chat. This is a good place to look. And we can search here, CPAR. Okay, and there it is.
Okay.
It's in the Czech Republic.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was thinking that EPOS also have more GPS station similar like this. Yeah, GPS.
Yeah.
Post.
It's okay. Yeah, this is no problem. You just have to be careful with the gamut files. The information is for your CPAR and not CPAR in the Czech Republic. So that's a good place to go. The other good place to go is SOPAC, which has a similar search function. I'll see if I can find that. Where is it now? Data browser, maybe. People keep changing their websites. I have these bookmarked.
Yeah, that's the new one. Yeah.
Genesis network. Let's see. No. Check site IDs. There we go. All right, so I'll add this one to the chat as well. Again, this is quite a good one to check. Yeah, it's called SOPAC old. So I think this is probably on an old server. But nevertheless, you can put that in. And then it says, check your list against codes in use. And it says there, site code already in use, CPAR. So that's another good one to check.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I say it's not a problem. You just have to edit some of those files. You just have to check this again, the station.info file. You have to make sure that the information in the station.info file is for Indonesia and not the Czech Republic. and you just have to be careful that the APR file, it's the same two files, again, that we really have to worry about. If you have a site ID clash, you just have to make sure that station.info and APR have the correct information for Indonesia. Yeah.
Yes, we have that one.
Yeah. Good,
Thank
good
you very much,
question.
Mike. Mike, I got one more question.
Yeah, yeah.
I just realized, I'm sorry, suddenly it's off. I'm just processing about 5 stations that pretty close to, I think, the area of interest, and then I already finished the SH gamut for these 5 stations and the IGS stations that located surrounded. If I want to add 5 more stations, that's also pretty close. Should I rerun these stations together with the stations that I already run? So I rerun it together, or I just need to SH gamut only using these 3 stations?
It's probably best to run SH gamut again with those additional stations included in one network. You can only process the 3 in a second set of H files, but if you do that, you need at least one site that is the same as the first network as well, because you will need to tie those networks together. And in order to do that, you need at least one common site. So I think if for a small network, it's probably easiest just to reprocess everything together. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mike.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so we're coming towards the end here. We're coming towards the end here. We'll go back to the main room in a moment and break for lunch. There's one question in the chat that I did not get around to answering, and that is Juan's question there about the sites.defaults file. Do we have to put all of the stations we will use or only the reference stations? You add the stations that you wish to include in your network in addition to the sites that you have put the Rhinex file in the Rhinex directory. So if you have a set of sites of your own, you have Rhinex files, you put those in the Rhinex directory, you do not need to include those in sites.defaults. Any data that is in the Rhinex directory will be processed. If you want to download additional Rhinex files, then those sites should be included in sites.defaults. Yeah, so sites.defaults contains at least the additional sites that you want to download to include with a larger network. And those sites should be the ones we use for reference sites at the very end. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, I'm going to close, yeah, no problem. I'm going to close these rooms. We'll go back to the main room, see if anyone is still there. If not, we will break for lunch. So I'll see you back in the main room. Okay, well, it looks as if everyone left already, so we'll just say goodbye here. We have an hour for lunch now, if I remember rightly. Yep, that's right. An hour for lunch. We will come back at 11:30 Mountain Time. That is 17:30 UTC. And we will have our next webinar then. Okay, so we'll see you all in an hour.
Thank you.
Right.